Welcome back to Comics Off the Top. My name's Adam, and in this video, I'll be previewing the next Marvel comic to be dropped as an NFT on the VEVE app. That is Uncanny X-Men number 282. Now, before we jump into this, I'm just going to let you know that this video isn't as detailed or as deep as I generally like to go. My son's been a bit sick this week, and as such, it's required a lot of my attention, so I just haven't had enough time to really put this video together. But let's get into it anyway. Uncanny X-Men 282 is a key comic released in 1992. It features the first appearance of the mutant Bishop and was created by John Byrne and Willis Patacchio. As always, this comic will be released on the VEVE app with 5 varying colors in a $6.99 blind box format. The comic will have 30k mints, which is pretty normal for today's drop. The covers will include the common, which is a copy of the original comic cover, the uncommon, which is the same but with a grayed out background, the rare and ultra rare is exclusive art made only for the VEVE NFT release, and of course the ever popular secret rare features art from inside the book. The rare and ultra rare work was drawn by Carlos Gomez, a Spanish-born artist who started in comics in the early 2000s. While working with Marvel, he's been most notable for drawing The Amazing Spider-Man and most recently the art for Captain Marvel Annual in 2022. But onto the fun stuff. Uncanny X-Men 282 is a comic to come out in 1992 and features the first appearance of Lucas Bishop in comic books. Lucas Bishop is a mutant from the future. Future. Did I do that well? Anyway. I really like Bishop as a character, but admittedly I am a little ashamed that when I thought about VEVE releasing comics to celebrate Black History Month, I thought of Miles Morales and Luke Cage and Black Panther and Storm. However, Bishop never crossed my mind. The reason I'm so disappointed about that is because I love the X-Men cartoons from the 90s, plus Bishop has an Australian connection, and well, Aussie, oi oi oi. Lucas Bishop was born in the 21st century when Sentinels had taken over and were hunting mutants to extinction. His parents were born in Australia and are of Indigenous Aboriginal descent. When his parents moved to America, they ended up landing in a mutant concentration camp, where Bishop was eventually born. The M-shaped scar over his eye is recognition that he was branded in one of these camps, the letter M signifying obviously that he was a mutant. M is for mutants. That's today's lesson. He was brought up by his parents believing in the Professor X way of thinking, that mutants and humans can live one day together in peace. After not being a big fan of mutant kind being hunted and killed by Sentinels, he managed to time travel back to the 90s, or present day I guess, in order to fix the timeline. In doing so, he finds himself in conflict with the present day X-Men, which he grew up idolizing, and of course the fellow time traveling mutant with big guns, aka Cable, of whose character he is closely linked to in most comics. Bishop's power is a very, very cool one, in which he can absorb certain energy and use that energy in a number of ways, including creating percussive blasts from his hands and giving himself temporary super strength. Sadly, this cool element of his power was greatly ignored in the 2014 X-Men movie Days of Future Past. In fact, considering that Bishop's thing is time travel and that storyline was entirely about time travel, I feel kind of the way that they wasted the character and what they did. Don't get me wrong, I love the film, and still one of my favorite X-Men films to date, but Bishop, who is portrayed by Omar Sy, had 2 moments where he actually used his powers, which he just used the power that he absorbed to basically make his gun work. Then, after doing those 2 things, he had a bunch of Sentinels use energy blasts to fire into the guy who can absorb energy, and he exploded. Yeah, why'd you gotta do Bishop so wrong, Fox? Was not a fan. At least he got love from the 90s cartoon show, which is where I fell in love with him, even if he did look like he was 3 times the size of every other character. You never know, maybe they just have better protein shakes in the future. Anyway, the question you want answered is, should you care about this comic? Short answer is yes. Man, I can end the video there if I really want to, but I'll go a little bit further. Any comics that feature a first appearance of a character is always a good one to pick up. While Bishop doesn't have the following in the X-Men lore as, say, someone like Wolverine or Magneto, he is still an interesting character who has a fan base and mostly made up of 90 kids who remember the cartoon. But with X-Men starting to creep into the way into the MCU, you never know. Maybe we get a Disney Plus show featuring Bishop and his band of merry mutants in the future world battling Sentinels, and we get to see why indeed he needed to travel back in the first place. It might happen. You never know. It probably won't, but that's the fun about speculation, isn't it? You never know. Well, that's enough from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy my content, please make sure you like and comment down below if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed yet. I would love to consider maybe hitting that bell icon and coming along with me on the YouTube journey. I've got plenty more comic content to come out in the future, so please make sure you're coming back week to week. But apart from all that, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you're staying safe, staying healthy, being amazing, and as always, I will see you in the next one.